Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Couple of awake brothers in the back. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from us inshallah and bless us with that hour, and today during our sujood inshallah that our prayers are accepted. And please keep in your sujood and remembrance those who are unable to pray in the comfort as we are, those being oppressed, and anywhere La ilaha illallah is said, may Allah bless them, give them forgiveness, and inshallah give them victory. We also make dua for those who have passed away. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Sister Aziza Merchant, who passed away, Sister Naima Abdullah, and Abu Fimam, who passed away in Pakistan, Brother Ali Al-Hayak, who passed away in Jordan just 3 days ago, as well as Brother Muhammad Ali, who passed away. His janazah is today after Dhuhr in Masjid Jibreel in Temple City. If you want more information for the janazah, please come into the office. May Allah grant these individuals Jannat al-Firdaus, forgiveness, and bring ease to the families. We also make dua for those who are in need of shifa. Nusra Dogar, Sister Lori, Murshid Haider, Razi Hassan, Brother Khalil, Kanwal Kazmi, Rana Khan, Brother Farhat Ibi, Arifa Alam, Rasmiya Khalil, Harun Ishaq, Jamila Alam, Brother Suleiman Chaudhry, and Brother Naseem, the mother of Rasul, Brother Naseem's mother, Rasul Bibi. May Allah grant them shifa, and inshallah they're back with us soon. Muslim Modern Forum will continue its forums next week. Light refreshments or dinner will be provided following up on the website if you're interested. Ansar Academy is having a Ramadan camp for the children. The flyers are available in the lobby. Alhamdulillah, we're all excited as Ramadan is about 24, 25 days away, but we forget that the kids are just as excited. So what a better way to excite them than to have them come into the camp, learn about the importance, how they can prepare themselves mentally, physically, and inshallah spiritually as well. Once again, information on the lobby is available. This is a reminder for all of us. The Victor Valley community is looking to build a new mosque, a new center, and they're looking to purchase an existing church and inshallah make this the new masjid for the community. As having our own masjid, alhamdulillah, we come here, we pray. It's our duty and responsibility to go help them. So they're having a fundraising dinner tonight, inshallah, at the location. If you want information regarding this, please stop by the office. Once again, we can tell you all you need to know. They've raised about $210,000, alhamdulillah, but they need a total of about $610,000. So it's our community's duty to help them, inshallah. Stop by the office, we can let you know how to get there. Once again, cops are hanging out across the street. If you want a ticket, please jaywalk. Quran classes, once again, ages 5 to 16, 4 to 6 p.m. More information inside the office. Alhamdulillah, we have Darul Salam visiting us today. They have a table outside. They're promoting Hajj, Umrah packages, as well as Muslim retreats for husband and wives, where you visit various countries, all halal food, and you're led by a Muslim-led person who inshallah can show you guys the best places to go. Please see Brother Mustafa on your way out and get some information. Quarterly financials are posted outside for review. And once again, no clothes dropping off at this location. If you have clothes you want to donate, come see us in the office. We'll direct you where you can donate that. And that concludes my khutbah. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، عليه توكلنا إليه أنبنا إليه المصير. خصنا بخير كتاب أنزل وخير نبي أرسل وخير منهاج شرع، فقال عز من قائل: اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وخليله، بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة، وتركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك، عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم. اللهم أحينا على ملته وأمتنا على سنته واحشرنا مع زمرته. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. O you who believe, fear Allah as you should and do not accept as Muslims. أما بعد، فإن خير الكلام كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل بدعة ضلالة. Truly the best of the words is the book of Allah, and the best of the guidance is the guidance of the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام, and the worst of the matters are the false innovations in the religion, any such thing as a misguidance. My brothers and sisters, I was reading a beautiful poem written by Abu al-Baqa al-Randi when Al-Andalus fell. And subhanAllah, you can see that these verses apply to every situation that we go through. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but just some excerpts. And he says, كم يستغيث بنا المستضعفون وهم قتلى وأسرى فما يهتز إنسان. ماذا التقاطع في الإسلام بينكم وأنتم يا عباد الله أخوان. ألا نفوس أبيات لها همم، أما على الحق أنصار وأعوان. لمثل هذا يذوب القلب من كمد إن كان في القلب إسلام وإيمان. So he's talking about this connection among the Muslims and the bad situations that we actually have witnessed. And these same things can be said about Syria today, or about Iraq, or about Afghanistan, or about Palestine, or every other situation. And I think the biggest danger sometimes of the events that are unfolding is the despair that it would sometimes be instilled in our heart, feeling the despair out of the existing situation, giving up, thinking that this is it, it's not going to get any worse, everything is coming to an end. But if you look through history, you can clearly see that this is, of course, definitely not the first time the Muslims have been through that. We've been there ourselves. In our short life, we've been through the same place many times before. And these days just repeat themselves. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that to the believers. وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَّامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. So the Muslims went through the same thing. And if you think probably the most critical time, after the Muslims won big in the Battle of Badr, so the da'wah started to take off, and then came the biggest setback, which is the defeat of the Battle of Uhud. So after starting to take off and winning, Now the Muslims lost, and they lost big. At that time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Do not despair or be saddened, and indeed you are the highest if you are believers. And that's really exactly what happened. The days change. So the days changed, and after Uhud came the victory of the Battle of the Trench, then the conquest of Khaybar, then the conquest of Mecca, and then Al-Yarmouk, and then Al-Qadisiyah, and all of the other great battles, and then came back a decline afterward with the Crusaders and the others, and then came back after a revival afterward. So the days change, the situations change, but what does not change is the value and the worth of principles. And here again, I'm not trying to run away from the present into the past as an escape, but we have to actually widen our perspective to see the full picture. That's why the Islamic history is not to be reduced or summarized by what happened over the last 30 or 50 years. It extends beyond that. And we have to look at the full picture in order to understand the worth of the Islamic values and the contributions of the Muslims, despite everything. Despite the declines through history, but Islam and the Muslims have contributed largely to the history of humanity. And that's something that we have to keep in mind, so our worth or our values are not to be just reduced to what happened over the last 30 or 50 years. There has been a different situations. This is just political. It just changes. Different labels and different actually names that are put here and there. These are just different political situations. But if you look back at what humanity actually did, what Islam did to humanity in the beginning, then you can see actually what I'm talking about. Looking back from the very beginning, how Islam was able to change the Jahiliyyah environment within such a very short period of time. You know, sometimes you may have a certain habit, very simple habit, that you may find it difficult to get rid of. Simple habit, certain behavior. It's difficult to look away from haram. It's difficult to do certain things. But yet, you look at the changes that the Sahaba went through, so drastic and so radical in a positive way, you know, that it is something that is really perplexing. How could they change that from what Ja'far ibn Abi Talib said, يَأْكُلُوا بَعْضُنَا بَعْضًا. We used to eat one another, exploit one another, into becoming the most exemplary and noble society that ever existed. That's what Islam did. Because the change initially started at the deeper spiritual level, ideological and moral level, and then the social and the political were only the fruits of that. And that's where the change actually has started. But you look back at that, and that's what Islam does. You know, when you're talking about my values and my principles, it is not what is defined in the media or even in the wrong perception of some Muslims themselves, but it is actually what the Prophet ﷺ has preached. So we look at history through the Islamic perspective to understand actually what Islam did and what Islam actually benefited humanity with. You know, whenever any force declines, with its decline, go away actually their own values and principles. You know, there was a time, a long time, where Islam was a dominant universal power, global power, where Islam actually had a great influence at the international scene, where Muslims were superpower. And whenever any power actually dominates, then its own values and principles are spread and promoted. So when that value or that power, whatever power it is, declines, then with it go away the principles and the values that they were representing. That's why when the Muslims declined, it had a tremendous impact on the global value and the global character and the global way of thinking. It was not just a political decline, it was also a moral decline globally. And you see that clearly when you look at what happened afterward. And I'm not denying the fact here that Muslims had shortcomings through history. Plenty of them. Tyrants, whatever it is. But there's a huge difference. There's a big difference between somebody that commits adultery, someone that commits adultery, but yet still thinking that it is haram, versus someone who commits adultery thinking that this is his right. It's his right to commit that. There's a big difference. And with the absence of Islam, that's what became dominant. This new libertarianism, you know, the way of thinking, what happened is that humanity developed its own guiding principles. And God was removed out of the picture. So the fear of God and the concern about God was not a concern in people's life anymore. This is the Western culture. I'm not saying Western referring to a geographical area. I'm referring to an ideological way of thinking. This modern, this new libertarianism way of thinking became dominant, where basically certain values and certain guidelines were advanced that go against the very nature of the human being. So the concept, for example, and this, of course, spread through much of the northern hemisphere, and then eventually, because the West became a dominant power, it spread into the countries of the West. So it became the dominant way of thinking. So things like the concept of al-mujahada, self-resistance, became something completely strong and strange, even for us, by the way. You know, the Muslims are like everybody else. We just buy into these ideologies if we're not really aware of our own principles and values. So the concept of resisting one's urges became something completely strange. And the whole society and the whole world is encouraging you to act upon whatever desires or impulse that you have. You feel like doing something, do it. You feel, be true to yourself. That's what the call actually is made. Be honest. Don't be a hypocrite. You feel like doing something, do it. Well, what happened with the self-resistance? What happened with the mujahada, the Islamic values? What happened with the great form of jihad, which is the jihad against oneself, resisting the urges? This idea became something really completely alien. And if you talk about it to people as if you're mentioning something that comes from the Dark Ages, something that is really strange, because we started buying into that way of thinking. You know, this modern way of thinking, modern society, modern ideologies taught the human how to live, but did not teach him why to live. So now we know how to live healthy, how to eat healthy, how to live efficiently, how to go to places, how to enjoy these things. But the question is, for what? What am I living for? See, this is really what's missing from the equation. That's why at the end of the day, the person, human, did not become happier. We became more miserable because we became defined by our own physical dimension, physical being. So basically, I am whatever I can bring as benefit, as money. And of course, a person's worth is defined in financial terms. His net worth, his own worth is that, you know. This is really what we became. This is really what we became. We became consumers, consuming everything. So our worth becomes determined by what benefit we can contribute. We're very pragmatic, but not by the principles that we hold. And this is really some of the things that humanity has lost with the decline of the Muslims. That these principles, because the Muslims actually took a back seat. So these values disappeared from the scene, and people started basically defining themselves in terms of physical being. So basically what defines the person is not his principles, or his spirit, or his worth, but it became his physical being, his physical dimensions. This is how beautiful he is, how healthy he is, but not how significant his life is. And the purpose of pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or sacrificing for the sake of others, for the sake of a hereafter, became something completely irrelevant. In the eyes of many people, and like I said, unfortunately, people actually, even Muslims, started buying into that. And if you challenge any principle, you become progressive, something really nice that resonates really nicely in the eyes and the ears of people, that he's progressive, he's true to himself. Well, what about the principles? What defines a human, that probably may define animals, because animals have instincts, and they just act upon their instincts. There's no resistance with the animals. But the human has the ability to master his desires, and that's what makes the person. It is not just giving in to whatever he feels, but actually mastering their own desires for the sake of a higher purpose, for the sake of doing something bigger. And this is again what the world lost with the decline of the Muslims. Not the decline of Islam, but the decline of the Muslims themselves. Well, you tell me, what about all these scientific achievements? Do we throw them away? Of course not. Because Islam actually is the only culture that recognizes that and built on it. Islam, if you look through history, the technological, technical, scientific achievement that humanity has today is not to be credited only to one particular civilization, but it is the cumulative achievement of all of humanity. You have to give credit to the Greeks. You have to give credit to the Egyptians. You have to give credit to the Muslims. So it is not just what the Western world has achieved today, but it's an accumulation of knowledge, accumulation of experience, and the Muslims played a major role in that. The Muslims played a major role in that, and actually, we do not have dark ages in Islam. If anything, our days today are dark ages. But we do not have dark ages in history, if you look at it. You know, in the West, the scientific achievement was achieved after God was separated from science. But in Islam, it's exactly the opposite. The scientific achievement coincided with the religious achievements. And this is only in Islam, by the way. That's why you'll find that the greatest scholars, scientific scholars, were also religious scholars. Mention names, Ibn al-Haytham, al-Muqaffa, al-Khawarizmi, names of great people that have achieved tremendously. Ibn Sina al-Razi achieved tremendously in the fields of sciences, but they also achieved tremendously in the fields of religion. So this was achieved when the two actually were spared, and this was only to Islam. These are some of the things that the world has lost with the decline of Islam. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi min wala. About 50 years ago, a great scholar from India by the name of Abu al-Hasan al-Nadawi wrote a great book in Arabic and translated into English, ماذا خسر العالم من حطاط المسلمين, what the world lost with the decline of the Muslims. And what prompted him into asking that question at that time still exists today. It's a book that I must read for every Muslim. I really recommend it very highly. That Islam at that time had something that humanity actually needs, and it still needs today. It needs to build on that which it has achieved. So Islam provides the spirit without taking away the physical body. Islam provides the enlightenment without taking away the freedom. Islam provides the guidance without taking away the freedom. Islam provides all of that, but however, for us to provide that, even within our own circles, we have to believe in it ourselves. Because as we say in Arabic, فَاقِدُ الشَّيْءِ لَا يُعْطِيهِ, that he who lacks something cannot give it to others. So if I don't believe in it myself, I won't be able to benefit the others. That's why I strongly believe that Muslims can contribute the most by being good Muslims, by being the best Muslim that they could, at all levels, not just the moral and the character and the social, but also at the ideological and the spiritual level, by being connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and believing in what we have. The verse that I mentioned earlier, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنْتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Do not be saddened and do not be despaired, do not despair, and indeed you are the highest if you are believers. That verse came after a defeat, not after a victory, to indicate to the Muslims that your attitude and your belief in what you have is not dictated by situations. Whether you have the upper hand or the lower hand, whether you're winning, whether you're losing, so long as you are connected to God, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنْتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Otherwise, the days change. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the same surah, وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَّامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ إِن يَمْسَسْكُمْ قَرْحٌ فَقَدْ مَسَّ الْقَوْمَ قَرْحٌ مِثْلُهُ وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَّامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. If you're afflicted by any hardship or difficulty, the same thing happened to other people. And these days, we just rotate them among people. They change. So the days come, days of strength, days of weakness. At personal level, by the way, at our own personal level, they come and change. But what does not change is the value of your own principles, the value of what you believe in. This is the one thing, if you truly believe in, then that's where you can contribute the more. So you want to make sure that we keep that in our mind. Despite all of what happens, we do not want to actually start doubting or looking down on ourselves or what we can contribute to everybody else. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us recognize the truth and help us follow it. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us recognize the falsehood and help us avoid it. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make the best of our deeds, the last ones that we do, and the best of our days, the day we shall meet Him. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect our brothers and sisters in Syria, and in Iraq, and in Bangladesh, and in Afghanistan, and in Myanmar, and anywhere where La ilaha illallah is declared high. إن الله أمرنا بأمر عميم بدأ بنفسه وثنى بملائكة قدسه فقال ولا مزل قائلا عليما حكيما إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم، وبارك اللهم على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم واعلي بفضلك كلمتي الحق والدين. اللهم من أراد بالمسلمين خيرا فوفقه إلى كل خير، ومن أراد بهم شرا فخذه أخذ عزيز مقتدر. اللهم يا واصل المنقطعين أوصلنا إليك، اللهم ولا تخزنا يوم العرض عليك. اللهم وارزقنا لذة النظر إلى وجهك الكريم. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم اجعل خير أعمالنا خواتيمها وخير أيامنا يوم أن نلقاك. اللهم يا واصل المنقطعين أوصلنا إليك. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات، المؤمنين والمؤمنات، الأحياء منهم والأموات، إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. والحمد لله رب العالمين، وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله.
Straighten the lines and fill the gaps. Well, before you start lining up outside, make sure that the lines inside the prayer hall is full. We have space in the back, right? Yeah, we have plenty of space in here as well. Again, if you have your cell phone, please make sure that it's turned off or put on mute. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين، إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والسماء والطارق وما أدراك ما الطارق، النجم الثاقب، إن كل نفس لما عليها حافظ، فلينظر الإنسان مما خلق، خلق من ماء دافق يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب، إنه على رجعه لقادر، يوم تبلى السرائر فما له من قوة ولا ناصر، والسماء ذات الرجع والأرض ذات الصدع، إنه لقول فصل وما هو بالهزل، إنهم يكيدون كيدا وأكيد كيدا، فمهل الكافرين أمهلهم رويدا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين، إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، سبح اسم ربك الأعلى، الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى، والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.